Hello. What you're doing this week is determining your triangulation piece. That's the third piece, the last significant source for your research paper. Now, you'll remember that our first source was the cornerstone piece, and that was what you put in place to build around. The foundation piece connects to the cornerstone piece. They work closely together. They should have identifiable connections. So now you need to keep looking at those connections. What is your essential question? Do you have an outline? Have you started to put information together so that you know where you have holes, where you have gaps? If you know that, then you're in the perfect spot to find your triangulation piece, that last significant source. So you want to think, you want to plot, you want to plan, look at your question, look at your sub questions, consider outlining. Chase an idea that was maybe in your cornerstone or your foundation, but figure out what you need this last leg to be. There are a couple questions you might want to ask yourself. Do you have right now quality information for all of the major elements, sub questions that your outline might make you think you're going to do? And do you have layers of authority so that you aren't drawing from a single voice? You want to have a range of perspectives and people as your source. This picture here is like a crack. It's like a land breaking. If you don't think of these things for your paper, you might end up with some problems later on, an earthquake of sorts. So right now, you need to be collecting key quotes, stats, information that helps you build your paper. That means you've outlined. That means you've revisited your questions. Now, I want you to notice I keep going around in a spot. You read, you question, you research, you do all this stuff. Research is essentially watercolor. You blur together. You are constantly kind of like a dog chasing its tail. So this is why research takes investment and patience. And sometimes when you think you're crazy, no, you're actually doing the process right. So right now, get your triangulation piece. It's the third leg. It has to unite all the pieces together. There's a couple questions you should be thinking about. You might want to look at your stockpile. There might be one there. But you need to think to yourself, does this piece overlap so much that it's not adding any new information? Then you probably don't want it as your triangulation piece. Also, if it doesn't overlap at all, then it's not connected. Then your papers are going to be chunk, chunk, chunk instead of a fluid piece. So look that there is some, but not a lot of overlap. All right, when you have your source, you're going to do the same things before. You're going to read it. You're going to make sure you look at the authority actually before you read it. Look at the authority, read it, summarize it, and make sure that you look at the credibility and all the other steps of this source. You're almost there. After this, you'll just get those little tidbits, those little things to fill in. So keep going.